Been a good day for the Maryland Terrapins, jetting out to Indianapolis. There you see the crew about to board the flight. And
looks like a Citation 10 they're getting on. That's a nice jet. Just saying, Reverend.
That's more your area of expertise than mine. You're more the private jet guy, Howard. I'm with the people. You know that. And then when they got here, well, they had a heck of a good time, as evidenced by this. Look at Locks looking good there.
Hey. The DJ was killing it in there, bro. Oh, man. If
he had you in the mood.
If it wasn't for football, I'd be in the music. I promise you. Hey, look at hey.
Maryland coach Mike Locksley is with us. Coach, first of all, you look great. I can see why you're dancing.
Thank you. New knees, man. 2 new knees. Thanks, Dr. Saram, man. 2 new knees. I'm ready to roll.
When the doctor gets a shout out on the air, we know it's a job well done by him. And you're also dancing because you got this program really playing well. 3 straight bowl wins, the first time that's happened in the history of Maryland football. What's next? Like, how do you go from being good, and I think you've gotten it to good, to going to great?
Yeah, we went from a C- student to a B student to where it's not your same old mama's Maryland when we show up. But this next step, and everyone always thinks it's an ambiguous answer, like what's the next step? Well, the next step is the hardest one. When you go from going to bowls to saying, I declare I want to compete for Big Ten championships. I saw this little clip Will Smith had where he talked about Bad Boys 1 was 90% done, and they were all pumped up, and the director was like, well, if you think it's 90% done, that means we're 50% away from 100%. So that last step from going from bowl wins to championship caliber, that's the toughest step. And what I've learned and why I'm comfortable and confident is that our players understand what it takes. And now you got to live different. You got to eat different. You got to think different. You got to approach it differently to get over that 50% hump and to be able to compete for championships. And it usually starts with sacrifice. And our players believe in that. We're a player-led culture, as well as we expanded the room in the Big Ten Conference.
Well, one thing that has certainly changed is your quarterback, and you were mentioning up on the podium all of the accolades for Leah Tungavailoa and just how important he was in getting you to this point.
Right.
Take us into the quarterback room. Give us a sense of what's behind Leah and who might be under center for the Terps this year.
Yeah, first it starts with, because of the legacy that Leah has left in terms of how you need to prepare as a Terp quarterback. The system has been bulletproof with the quarterbacks that have played in it. Jalen, Tua, Mac Jones, CJ, C.J. Brown and some of those other guys that have played in the system, Juice Williams at Illinois. The system shows it's bulletproof, but what Leah was able to do was leave the legacy of how you prepare and build that room. Part of my transformation of losing weight is I'm back in the quarterback room. I got to run from drill to drill, and I get a firsthand view every day of what the quarterback room looks like. We've got an important decision to make, and we've got a really competitive room with, at least 4 guys that will have a chance to compete for the job. There's no doubt that it'll be a great competition because we've recruited well to the room. But the job that Leah did in terms of leaving the legacy of what it takes to be a Maryland quarterback at a really high level didn't get us over the hump, didn't win a championship, but he left a legacy that we can take the experiences when we did fail, apply them, and maybe take something from them.
Coach, you're very intentional. So how is it, not so much your transfers, but the way you feel now about this program, the way you move around here today, how important is that for your team to see and understand?
Comfortable and confident, and I didn't make this up. I know sometimes you get as a coach, you get coach-itis where you're making up words, but when Jordan Phillips, when I walked up and I had my shirt, I didn't have a tie on, and I was he said, Coach, you look different, man. I was like, I'm comfortable and confident, and it's funny because that's what our team is. And not comfortable in that we think we've arrived, but comfortable in we know who we are. We know that there's change in the league and that we've been 5th the last couple of years, and we've added 4 new teams. My boss knows it, and we know that for us to continue to to try to compete for that 4th spot, to try to get in the playoffs, we're going to have to take great sacrifice. We're here to break up status quo, man. We ain't afraid to dream big. I said up there that, I want to be the first black head coach to win a national championship. I've kept that a secret a long time because I was afraid that people are going to say, you can't even win a big game, Lock, shut your mouth. Well, you know what? I said it. My give a crap gauge is on E. If I fail trying to do that and you want to make fun, I'm all right with that. And I want my team to know, dream big. The breaking up of the conference, the divisions, and those are great opportunities for a place like Maryland, man.
It's been amazing to listen to you all day long, and specifically around being comfortable and confident. You said your team reflects that. What's something that you see or hear from the strength and conditioning staff that makes you say, yep, I know that is a truth?
So we just got finished going through our evaluation from summer workouts, and we have an accountability grade where, whether it's taking shakes, post-recovery shakes, going in the cold tub for extra work, doing all the little things, the sacrifices you got to make to take that next step to close that 50% gap. Well, a guy had a 90% accountability rate, and his rank on our team was 49. And I was like, this don't make sense to me, RD. How does this work? How's he 49th? He says, because we've got 48 other guys that are at either 100 or 99.8 or whatever it is. And so to me, as we enter year 6, every player in the program, every member of our staff or people I brought in here, the alignment is there. They understand how we do business, but they also understand to take the next step, we got to make a different kind of sacrifice. And this team has embodied it with how they've worked.
How's Roman Hemby really grown as a leader? I can remember being in camp and you saying he's the guy. How's he grown, not only on the field, but more importantly in the locker room?
Man, I'm going to just tell you, the number one thing that Roman does for our program is this kid has so much humility. That's the word that, for this year, humility, man, being able to be vulnerable. And you know what? He's a great teammate, man. And because of that, he's going to get drafted. He's going to play a long time. He'll play a long time in the league. As we know, the running back room is a different room now. I mean, I had a running back room where I had Najee, Josh, Damian, and Brian Robinson. I've had it where we had Jake Funk, Anthony McFarland, Javon Leak. You have to be unselfish at that position now and understand that when you get your opportunities, you take advantage of it. And Roman's one of those guys that does it, but he also brings people along with him, man. Nolan Ray's going to be a big player for us, and he's like Roman's little brother, and Roman is giving him all the secret sauce of what it takes to be successful.
You referenced the system a few times. Take us into the system, and then what tips the scale to say, yep, new face in the program, and MJ, he's the guy, or someone who's been there for a while? How are you going to decide who becomes that quarterback for you?
Yeah, it starts, and I've been a part of a lot of quarterback battles, the Jalen Tua at Alabama, playing Juice Williams early at Illinois. You get used to that, and the number one thing for me is protection of the football at the quarterback position. I mean, our quarterbacks, the system, you don't have to force things. And so the quarterback that protects the ball the best, the guy that moves the chains or matriculates the ball, that can gain 4 yards, stay on track, and the guy that has the ability to make the other players around him better will be the guy that lines up when we open up against UConn. And I'm looking forward to figuring that out the next 29 practices as the quarterback coach, hands-on. Skinny Locks is back in the room, man. It's like Kent Rantoul at Illinois back in the day. I'm excited to be in the room again.
Hey, I got to ask, because I'm new to this desk with these guys. I've heard about the Locksley. I haven't been to campus yet. I want to get there. Coach me up when I get to campus.
Well, Grill Marks is an establishment that I know a little bit about. Their owners, Jackie and Andy and Doug, they do a tremendous job. And when you're in College Park and you're looking for a place to go, I strongly recommend Grill Marks. They make a drink for me. I like spicy and sweet, man. I'm kind of confident,
like
spicy and sweet. And the Locksley is a spicy jalapeno tequila that has a pineapple kind of a base. And you put the little, what's that brown salt around it? I don't even know the name
salt,
of it. But whatever that. Come on, man. That's on the tip of your tongue.
I know.
Whatever that is, and it gives it that sweet, spicy, all the flavors. I can't say that because my players always get on me if I say all the flavors in my mouth or whatever. I got to make sure I pause or whatever they say. But it's a wonderful drink, man, and it's named after a good guy, man.
I've learned
And a certain percentage goes to my NIL deal.
Coach, you talked about being back in the room with your quarterback. So you get an opportunity, obviously, as the head coach, but seeing those guys, the big fellas up front. And we've talked about how you needed to continue to develop that group up front. How have they developed?
You know what? And I know you guys are coming to see us early. We look like a Big Ten team now. And I can tell you, and it starts up front. the D-line and the O-line. We've got length. We got young, lengthy players that play heavy. To win in November in the Big Ten, man, you got to run the ball and stop the run. Yeah. I mean, the wind blows. It's cold. The air comes out of it. The throwing it ain't where you're going to have to line up and fight the tough guy in the phone booth. And we put a lot of emphasis on this O-line this year. We got 3 O-line coaches. You know, Brian Braswell, who's developed 4 NFL players the last 2 cycles. I brought in Damian Robolowski to coach, to have 2 full-time O-line coaches, which allowed Josh to go to receivers and me to go in the quarterback room. And then I bring in Brian Ferentz as our analyst, who now can coach on the field. Yeah. So imagine the expediting the growth of the young linemen when you got Brian Ferentz over on the scout field with these 10. We signed 10 guys from Central PA all over this region to come in and let them grow for 3 years. Mm-hmm. We signed some portal guys like Lou Ball and Alan Haran and Isaiah Wright to kind of give them time to grow. And, you know, Grandma's chocolate chip cookie recipe taught me how to build this thing, man.
Nice.
I'm glad you brought up Camp Rantoul, because we all almost blew away. We saw Annie M and Toto flying by that year. That was
tough.
It was a little ugly. Those were the days, Locke.
Yes.
Looking forward to our days at Maryland. As you said, it's right around the corner, getting a chance to see the Terps. We even talk about Brian Williams and the defense, but we'll save that for our visit, because that is a vastly improved group. Mike Locksley, great to see you.